All right, guys, thanks for joining us again for round 3, back 9 of this 2021 Alberta Provincial Championships. We're the Grand Prairie Disc Golf Club. We're your hosts for this event. And we've got Playfair Promo and Athletics as our title sponsor. Thank you, those guys. Thanks, Ty.
We also have Brant Tractor as our Evergreen course sponsor. And we have Pizza Hut, Pomeroy Lodging, and Dane Montgomery, other sponsors of our tournament. We have Casey from Cranbrook, Mike from Grand Prairie, Matt from Canmore, and Bogdan from Calgary on this lead card coverage.
So we're out here at the Evergreen Co-op Community Course, and it's been a good front 9 so far. We've seen some big shots from Casey, bringing his round back on that third hole, the par 5.
Yeah. Here we have hole 10, par 4, 480 feet. The players are going to want to throw it on to the right and try and get a large S-curve. They can get into the landing zone with about 100 feet left to the basket. There is out of bounds on the left-hand side that separates this and the previous hole. So they'll try to stay away from that if they can.
Yeah, so your typical shots are going to be the forehand, more of a spike-izer, just trying to get back to the fairway. That looks a bit inside.
Caught a very early tree, but that actually puts him in a decent spot to get to the basket on his second shot.
Yeah, that's where the short tees are on this one, and it is capable of getting to the green from there.
Yeah. Bogdan's throwing more of what I consider the typical shot. You want to turn over backhand out of your hand.
And I cut that really short. Mike did not run up that quick. Mike never runs up that quick. But he went for the spike route. Richie wasn't ready for it.
No, I've also never seen the spike route played. As I was talking about with Bogdan and with Matt here, the backhand that flattens out and penetrates towards the basket is kind of the preferred route on this hole.
That spike route is not going to be there for probably two years, and it'll be gone. There's a lot of young aspens growing up around that tree, kind of knocking out that line. So
you can see, despite having a shorter drive, Casey was able to be in a very nice spot for that second shot. Almost follows the remainder of the fairway from where he was.
Yeah.
Bogdan in a difficult spot, but able to get the shot off, and he looks like he penetrated. He would have.
Yeah, the bush with his hand. That's what he penetrated. Yeah, but the shot was pretty good. So there's where Mike's drive ended up. So he's off the fairway, but he's pushed himself wide of basically all those guardian trees, and left himself a decent approach to the green. Mm-hmm. And this is where Matt's drive ended up. It was a really nice shot. So he's got the eagle putt. Just puts it a bit high. So, I mean, we got to make fun of Mike for his air ball on that one, right?
I think we should. So, Mike with the air ball, it's quite unfortunate.
At one point, he was Grand Prairie's best player.
Yep.
That'll be our job. So Casey just left his putt short. Bogdan's able to pick up his birdie. So Casey's tapped in for his par now. And this is Matt for his birdie.
And can't ask for any better. Would have been nice if he was able to drop the eagle, but...
It's Mike with a bit of a tester here. Cleans up his par.
Yeah. I'm going to say it was the choice to go with the spike hyzer off the drive.
All right, hole 11, par 3, 275 feet, up 20 feet. The basket's just placed in this little hill here, so if you leave it short, there's quite a steep embankment with trees before, or if you go too straight, you are going to find yourself guarded by trees. So Matt just went a bit too straight there, and he's going to have a difficult comebacker that's looking down that hill.
I believe the ideal play is an overstable mid-range, throwing just over those little green trees in front of the tee, and give it enough height to hyzer back to the basket. So similar to what Mike just threw, but missing that tree that he hit and kicked off of.
Yeah, so Mike actually, he's still down the hill. He's before most of the trees anyways. And that's a good upshot from Bogdan there. And this is where Mike's drive ended up. So he got through everything, and he should have an easy tap in for par. And you can see what a difficult putt that is for Matt to even try and run, because if he misses it, it's definitely a possibility for a roll away and get down that hill.
Yeah, so Casey just off the chains. Disc started rolling, but it looks like it stayed for cleanup on his par.
Yeah. So everyone should be in for par here.
Mm-hmm. And not the ideal outcome for these players. This is a fairly standard hole, and I'm surprised we did not get a birdie on it. Going into hole 15, or hole 12 of the tournament. It's par 4, 520 feet. Players are going to want to play a power hyzer through here, and they want to push towards the road in the open landing area. After they get to this landing area near the road, it's a hyzer up elevation into the green to get their 3. The miss on this play is typically a shot that turns over and continues to the right. But it's like Matt got everything on that disc, caught a late tree, and he's going to be a little short of ideal.
So Casey is drifting back to the left there. He ends up pretty close to the road, but I think a little shorter than he wanted. Mike going for a lower shot. He's taking the main chunk of the fairway, and he just catches a late tree.
Yeah.
And Bogdan, we missed his shot. He went, he's a little earlier than Matt, but he's on the right side. Should have a pretty decent approach to the green. Yeah, that one should be in circle 1.
So you can see the brown path that Matt's facing. It's a standard hyzer up that elevation. He catches a late tree and falls short. So Bogdan a bit more to the left off his drive, so he's got a good hyzer angle. I didn't see any indication from the spotter, but
no, Bogdan's in circle 1, pushed up against the bush. Here's Matt's third shot. He just kind of pushes that out to the left, so now he's going to be contending with all those young trees. Had the good line, just couldn't get it up and over that rim at the end.
And Bogdan with the same putt that he had from round 1.
Just more obstructed.
And not able to put it away in this round. Yeah, he was about 4 feet closer to the open edge in round 1. So
Matt takes a bogey. Unfortunate that little tree. 'Cause his approach shot was in the right laneway. It just got unfortunate, hit that tree, kicked off to the right.
yeah, he played the hole well. His drive was good. His second shot was good. Just caught that one guardian tree. So that's all it takes.
Casey and Mike take the birdies. And we've got hole 13 here, par 3, 235 feet. Holes up 10 feet on this hill. And you can see if you go past the hill to your left, you're going to be dropping off, and you're going to be potentially carrying quite a bit past the basket. So Casey's just electing to go for a direct forehand and kind of just land into that hillside.
So I'd say Heckbert was taking the traditional route. He's pulled it a little bit to the right, caught a tree, and then it just dropped short on him. In round 1, Bogdan elected to go with the sidearm, but changed it up here. So
Yeah,
I think it was for the better.
Yeah, he went for that wide hyzer around the right side of the main gap there. And that's just a bit inside for Matt, so he's risk of falling off that hill, and I think that tree actually probably helped him stay closer to the basket. So Mike had a bit of a lane there. Looks like he was trying to give that a bit of a run.
That was a very nice birdie for Casey.
Yeah, you can see he was on that hillside, had that awkward stance, and this is that little roadway that approaches up just below the basket. And Bogdan looks like he had a bit of an awkward stance as well, but he makes the putt.
It's important to note as we finish up this hole, they're running out of holes to catch Casey. He's got a 5-stroke lead currently on Bogdan. So
yeah, we're still looking at a pretty good battle for second there. Bogdan is 9 down. Mike's 7 down, so just 2 strokes between them, and there is lots of opportunity for some swings on the next 5 holes.
And a good cleanup for Matt. So hole 14 is our ridgeline shot. We don't have the wind to contend with today, so 365 feet. Not much elevation change, so players are looking to just throw a disc straight on line and get it to land in the basket. Don't fall to the right, don't fall to the left.
So, Casey just calling for that disc to hyzer out, and he just got it a bit too straight, but he looks like he'll still have a circle 1 putt. And Bogdan's got that turned over. You can see it just turning off down the hill, and it goes way down the hill because the way the terrain drops off there, if you're on that Annie line, it just goes forever.
Yeah. And Mike calling it for Anheuser. He did not get that disc to flip, and he fell off to the left. He'll be looking to try and get his 3 on this hole.
Yeah, as any local knows, there's a road that goes down on the left side of it is a giant hill, and if you hyzer out down there, if you let the wind push it down there, you're coming out with a bunch of scrapes and probably not your disc back.
Yeah, and Matt followed Mike down that hill, so
yeah, they didn't quite go down that hill, but they definitely were flirting with it. So that was Bogdan's up, which was a very nice up from where he was. We couldn't even see him.
yeah. Okay, so they didn't go down the hill, I see. You're right. But it's definitely not the side that you want to be on.
No, but they've both managed to get pretty close to the basket, so it's not necessarily an easy birdie by any means. So par is not a bad score to be walking away with, especially for Bogdan having gone down that other side.
Yeah. So here's Casey with his edge of circle, just outside of circle 1 birdie.
Yeah. So he was long in the basket there.
Yeah. And with 4 holes left, he now has a 6-stroke lead. With the rest of the card taking their pars.
Matt getting fancy. All right, this is hole 15, par 3, 540 feet. There's about 15 feet of elevation change, and we've got to throw across this lower bowl here. The drone's drifting a bit to the right, It's pretty hard to access this green. There is a lot of trees that kind of prevents a hyzer in, so you kind of gotta, if you're gonna make it all the way there, you've kind of got to be on an anhyzer line as you're approaching. And the typical shot is for discs to just hyzer out and be in the open down that hill. It's just a bit turned over and a bit low to really get that distance that he needs.
Bogdan making the correction on height. Didn't hold the anhyzer though, so he is fading off to the left.
The previous hole scared me on that day.
Yeah, that's typically not too dangerous a shot. It's usually pretty open.
Yeah, Maddie. Oh no, it's coming.
Matt's disc started on the right line, but just found that stability and again went to the left.
Yeah, it looks like he got a bit more distance than Bogdan. But that doesn't necessarily mean an easier shot, just gives you a different patch of ground for trees to be in the way of.
And Mike throwing the light blue disc. So
that's yeah, he's got the stability coming back out of the disc at the end. So he's kind of in that island of trees before the basket, which is a really good shot. So here's Bogdan's upshot, not too obstructed at all. Which he apparently doesn't know where the basket is.
I can't tell you where the basket is
it's
right
off
now.
to the left.
Okay.
Yeah.
Up by the player in the yellow shirt?
Yeah,
okay.
I think it's a bit short and a bit to the left of that player in the yellow shirt. So Matt just puts it a bit long there. Give himself a downhill putt. And Mike's just chipping out. He didn't have any look at the basket, even though he's in circle 2. And that was Matt's putt. Just splashing out on that right side.
So this would be Casey for par.
Yep.
Yeah. And par is the score players are going for on this hole. It is a very difficult 2. And, it's an easy 3.
So you can see players are starting to finish their rounds and come and watch the lead card as they bring it in for the last 3 holes. Nice par. And we didn't see Matt clean up, but he's going to take the boat.
And moving on to hole 16. This is hole 1 of our regular course. Par 3, 310 feet. Play is a forehand down this tunnel the drone's going on now to finish right into the basket. Or you can play an S shot around the right side of the clump of trees. But yeah, you'll see a lot of these players probably just play the forehand.
Yeah, you just want to get on the other side of that road to give yourself a chance at the basket.
Yeah.
So Casey's going up over the top. I don't think he quite got it out as wide as he wanted to on that forehand, but he made it over the trees and over the road.
Bogdan's taking that turnover line,
Yeah, Bogdan.
trying to get it a little higher than the island of trees. Did he make it to the road?
Well, he said it's short there, so
Okay.
I think he's just right around that edge, maybe a bit before the road.
Mhm.
And Mike just pulls one off to the right, hits a tree, and knocks her down. So with 3 holes left, he's going to have to put in some work if he's going to catch Bogdan.
And Matt's forehand just catches the first tree on the right, ends a little short.
So this is Matt now. Slightly different camera style as I took over for holes 1 and 2. Or 17, 18, I should say. Or 16, 17.
So you can see Mike's got a little bit of work to go here. Catches a late tree, lands just before the road. He'll be looking at a long circle 2, slightly obstructed.
So this is for his par putt. It just doesn't have the power to get there. And this is Matt. So he'll have a tap in bogey.
So this was Casey's drive?
Yeah, this is where his forehand over the top of the trees ended up.
Interesting. I like that play. If you have the power.
Yeah, I don't think it was really his play that he was going for, but it's not a bad miss at all.
Mm-hmm.
So Bogdan did get across the road. Gave himself a look, he just missed the putt.
And we'll have everyone clean up their pars and bogeys for this third last hole of our tournament. Thanks to all the players for coming and enjoying the courses we had and we offered. So it was a pleasure hosting everyone.
Yeah, so we had 3 courses in action out for this tournament. We had Thrill Hill, South Bear, and Evergreen. All right, hole 17, par 3, 220 feet. You got 35 feet of elevation change. There's really 3 shots. You can go where the drone's flying straight down the middle, or you can take a forehand out over the left side, or a spike hyzer out wide over the right-hand side.
Yeah.
Or you can grenade it. Yeah, it looks like he's holding it in a grenade.
Yeah, that seems like it would be a difficult shot just because you have to get the distance before it drops out of the sky.
Yeah.
So
So you can see Bogdan forehand just crossed back across the path. I think it's just a bit short.
Yeah, sure.
Heckbert going with that more conventional route of right up the middle, and looks like he put himself in circle 1.
Yeah. Not trying to follow that line. Just catches the left side trees.
Yeah, hopefully he has enough length to reach out for that forehand and get it down the tunnel.
Yeah, that's a really nice recovery from there.
Yeah, on these wooded courses, you really need to work on your scramble game because sometimes you just catch those trees that come out of nowhere.
So Bogdan didn't really have a putt on that, just kind of put her up near the basket for his par. This is Casey for his birdie.
And that was really well done. His strong putting skills. It looked like it was a circle 2. So
Yeah, Matt cleans up his par. So this is Mike for birdie. So he makes his birdie, moves to -7 within 2 of Bogdan. So he's with 1 hole left. He's kind of got an outside chance.
yeah. Well, and this final hole of the tournament, it is definitely not the easiest hole. There's a large score separator. You can get a 3, you can get a 6. So looking at it, hole 18, par 4, 725 feet, no elevation change. So you want 250 feet to this landing zone. It's very touchy, and the rest of the hole is a straight shot down this tunnel. It's difficult, it's guarded, and you don't want to go left or right.
Yeah, you've got a bit more room in the air on the left side, so you really want your your drive to be in that proper landing zone. The further you can push left, the more you can get on flat ground. And here's Casey on the backhand, just hyzering it out.
That was perfect. Catches that little tree, but where he's sitting is where you want to be.
Yeah, I've now moved to iPhone catch cam now. So this is Heckbert going a bit long. That tree actually saved him from really getting too deep on that shot. Bogdan going a bit lower.
But he's at the white tees, and he'll have a straight look down the tunnel. Catching that same tree as Casey, and he'll have a decent look. So
I guess that tree's right in the exact spot it needs to be. 3 players were able to make contact with it.
Mm-hmm. So we have Bogdan first to look down the tunnel, leaks it left, and
yeah, and then it just gets eaten by that wall of trees.
yeah. Casey with the power forehand just gets outside of circle 1. He's looking at his 3 to finish the tournament. Just
Yeah, that's a shot I don't have for sure.
no.
So Matt puts it up on an anhyzer, just catches that right-hand side wall and drops him back to the left edge of the fairway. And here's Mike. It's hard to see. He puts it up, and the wind just takes it. So it is short, and it is deep.
It seems like the wind has really just started for this hole, which is unfortunate because Mike needed those 2 strokes on Bogdan. Bogdan's fighting through the trees, but I don't know if he can get it now.
Well, there's Bogdan's outshot.
He can't get it now.
No. That was quite the recovery from where Bogdan was.
Yeah.
So this is Mike. He's just pitching out. It's really hard to see right here, but he just kind of gets back into the frame with his disc there. So he's going to have another pitch up to the basket. This is Matt's 3rd shot. A little long, and it faded out a bit, but he should be able to make that putt. So Mike will have that left for his bogey. And this is Casey for the birdie and the win.
Fantastic. Good shot, Casey. Good tournament. Congratulations.
Yeah.
So,
Once again, Casey sponsored by Prodigy Discs and Gander Disc Golf. And unfortunately, the Alberta title goes to BC.
again.
Yeah. Good showing by the others. Mike Heckbert puts in his bogey to finish his round.
Yep.
Matt saved his par for that one. And it should be Bogdan's par save. Quite a save from where he was there. So Bogdan takes second place at -9. Mike at -6 takes third. And Matt drops to tie for sixth, I believe, with a -1.
Yeah. So thank you all for watching our coverage. As Mike stated, here's the final scores for the card. Casey Hanemayer finishes with -8, -17 for the tournament. Mike finishes even on the day, -6 for the tournament. Matt +4 for the day, +1 overall. And Bogdan -5 on the day, -4 or -9 on the tournament. So congratulations, Casey. Congratulations, Gander Disc Golf, Prodigy Disc, and Cranbrook, BC, on your 2021 Alberta Provincial Champion.
Yeah, and thanks to all the players who made it up here. We're going to recap some of their other provincial divisions. This is the MPO, so we've got our top 10 here. So we've gone through the top players there.
Yeah, so we have Nick Smith and Lee Danderfer from Edmonton, Mitch Gorman from Grand Prairie, Tyler Hochhalter from Calgary, Matt Riordan from Canmore, Jace Barros, and Jeremy Gauthier from Edmonton. When we take a look at Casey's round, he shot a -8 and it was 1030 rated.
And he started 3 over.
And he started 3 over. Just phenomenal. On our ladies' side, the FPO division had Caitlin Duffy from Grand Prairie, who is the course designer and caretaker, winning. She shot a plus 37 overall, followed by Bailey Wilson and Terry Hong out of Edmonton. In FA1, we had Aubrey Price, Lisa Curtis, Brianne Levia, and Sonia Awaniak. In FA3 had Robin Bosniak, Pam Lepine, Annie Forney, and Christine Spencer. So one thing to note are amateur divisions, with the exception of MA1 and MA40, played South Bear, Thrill Hill, and South Bear.
All right, on the MA1 side, we've got Todd Wells taking down the win out of Edmonton, followed closely by local Brody Bumstad. We've got
Wilden Bassano out of Canmore and Riley Douglas out of Edmonton.
thanks for the assist there.
No worries. In MA2, we had Sam Coleman. He lives in Grand Prairie. He is from Edmonton, but he's ours. Cam White taking second, Kenton Barkman, and others.
Sorry,
So-
MA3. We're slow.
Yeah, we were too slow on that, so we kind of missed the rest. MA40, we had Jake Witt. I believe he's from Edmonton, followed by Rocky Gold out of Penticton area,
Cool.
Ryan LaCroix, and John Groff, our Grand Prairie MA40 co-champs.
From Ontario, we had Vern
Lapine, Edmonton, Rob LeChuck, and Tim Quakenbush, and Bradley Beer rounding out MA50. And our junior divisions, we had Malachi Moore in the 18 under, and we had Holden LaCroix and Hayden Pike in our junior 12 division. So thank you all for coming out. It was a pleasure hosting everyone, as I said before. And thank you to our organizing staff. You know, we had a bunch of volunteers help us out. So I'm not going to name you all, but
Yeah, thanks
Thanks.
to Greg Hearn, tournament director, our tournament committee. We had a huge committee going on this for months, years before it feels like.
yeah.
Thanks to Richie, who came out and did camera footage for us.
Yeah.
Thanks, Greg, for commentating with me.
No, and thank you, Michael. It's been a pleasure. Thanks for doing all the editing and having the initiative to get the coverage done.
Yeah.
So I look forward to doing more in the future.
So we're CanWest Disc Golf. Feel free to like and subscribe. All right, thanks, guys. Have a good one.
Cheers.